Hi YouTube cuties. So this trip I did not get to do any vlogs, or very few. What I got to do you already seen, I've put up. It was just kind of one of those crazy, I don't know, Lion had a really rough go of it this trip, so I was fighting a lot of meltdowns, and then there was a lot of running around the park, and there was a lot of crankiness, and overall we had a great time. It was just a kind of different off-center trip this time, so no vlogging was done. And both my tripods broke while I was down there, so I left them there. So I'm now holding the camera, so if it shakes or if you see me shift hands or the angle shifts, that's why. So I want to jump right into it if my computer allows me to, because I have a whole lot of stuff to talk to you guys about. It mostly involves food. Are you shocked? What we discovered this trip is that Disney is attempting to go, I guess, healthier on the kids' menus. They've replaced on a lot of the menus, on most of the menus, they no longer offer the traditional chicken nuggets and fries or the Mickey-shaped pizzas, which was a complete shock to my family, and I was not prepared for it. Our last day we went to Rose and Crown in the UK pavilion, and the kids always get pizza there. That's just what happens. They always get the pizza, and I was told this time there's no pizza. Pat's was fine. He has been really good about eating like grilled chicken and grilled fish, but his brother Lion will never eat either item. So I had to beg the service to please do buttered noodles, which he wolfed down happily. But had I known, I would have been better prepared, and I would have prepared him for it. So I went through the menus on allears.net, and I think the changes to the menus appear to be very new, because All Ears has menus going back to the end of last year, and they still have, a lot of them still have the pizza and stuff on them, and like her Rose and Crown has it on there, and I know they don't have it because I was just there. So I thought I'd give you the restaurants that I know have still offer chicken nuggets and or pizza. In Animal Kingdom, the Rainforest Cafe definitely has them. I know they have chicken nuggets. I think they have pizza, but I don't know. But I know they definitely have chicken nuggets and fries. Yak and Yeti does chicken nuggets and fries. The fries are not, they're not the steak fries, and they're not really McDonald's cut fries. They're sort of more like shoestring fries, so they're really kind of crispy. They're really good. But the nuggets are the long breaded nuggets. They're not nuggets, they're fingers. In Hollywood Studios, and those are the only two places that I could find in Animal Kingdom that actually serve. And when I go through this list, I'm not telling you that none of the other restaurants have kids menus, because they all do. Every restaurant has a kids menu. These are just the ones that cater to the pickier eaters, like my family. Most of them will have, a lot of them now have switched over to like grilled chicken and grilled fish with a side of green beans, which is awesome if you've got a kid that'll eat that kind of thing. A lot of them still have the meaty macaroni and cheese, or a cheeseburger, a hot dog. Lion won't eat that stuff. It's a once in a while I can get him to eat a cheeseburger, but it's not a guaranteed thing. Like, I can't tell you, yes, that's on a set menu, he'll totally eat that. So I'm just going through the restaurants now that I know offer the, and these are just the sit-down restaurants, the table service restaurants. I'm not even doing counter service. Counter service, you can always get nuggets and fries and that kind of stuff. So those are the only two in Animal Kingdom that have the pizza or the chicken nuggets. In Hollywood Studios, Primetime 50 Cafe has chicken nuggets, and I know that they do fries. Mama Melrose offers a pizza. Sci-Fi Cafe has both pizza and nuggets. We love the Sci-Fi Cafe, but be warned, for those of you that have little ones that might be jumpy or skittish or prone to nightmares, Sci-Fi Cafe is one of our favorite restaurants, but it plays, you're in a drive-in theater, and up on the screen they're playing trailers from B movies, from 1950s B horror films. So some of it is scary. You'll see skeletons, you'll see like there's a giant Gila monster, there are a lot of guns being fired, aliens, spaceships. So if your kid is prone to being frightened of things like that, I would avoid Sci-Fi. Those are the only places in Hollywood Studios. In Epcot, Coral Reef, which is over by the Living Seas, has pizza. And Sunshine Seasons, which is where Soarin' is, has pizza. You do have to kind of hunt it out, though. Every time we go there, I get really frustrated because it's sort of set up cafeteria style. the different areas. Like there's an Asian area, there's a sandwich area, there's, you know, so you kind of have to walk through and find what works for you. But they have it's a pizza panini, so it's not like a traditional triangular slice of pizza or a calzone, but it's a panini, and it's pretty good. And I think they have mac and cheese there too. In World Showcase, Chefs de France has chicken fingers. They go into a whole elaborate description of what they are: breaded strips of chicken, but they're still chicken fingers, and you can get them with fries. Marrakesh has chicken fingers. I am a big fan of Marrakesh. I am so thrilled that they have chicken fingers so that my husband and I can still eat there, and the kids can eat in peace too. And Via Napoli obviously has pizza for the little guys. That is it. Why did I not do Magic Kingdom on here? I forgot to add Magic Kingdom. Well, that was stupid. I can tell you in Magic Kingdom that safe places to eat are probably going to be Crystal Palace, Liberty Tree Inn is probably a good one. The Hoop-Dee-Doo Review is probably a good one. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is something really interesting that we discovered this trip. When we booked, we always, like I told you guys, we're devotees of the dining plan. We always book it without question. This trip, my husband booked it, and for some reason in both our heads we were thinking, since it's a shorter trip, it's going to be a cheaper dining plan. Well, when he came back to me and he said the dining plan for 5 days for 4 people was going to be $727.50, I almost fell off my chair. I said, what? That's crazy. So we sat down and we had a long talk about it, and we decided that this was going to be the trip that we were going to forego the dining plan, and we were really going to do an analysis of whether the dining plan actually makes sense for our family, and whether, you know, the cost would be the same on the dining plan or off the dining plan. So we skipped the dining plan. We told them we don't want it. We canceled it. So we were there for 5 days with 4 people, and we tried to follow the dining plan, or the dining plan rules as much as we possibly could. We did 1 sit-down restaurant every day. We did a counter service, and we did snacks every day. The restaurants that we ate at, where am I going here? The restaurants that we ate at, the sit-down restaurants that we ate at were, we ate at, where did we eat? Sci-Fi our first day. Then we ate at Cucina, and we ate at Rose and Crown, and Yak and Yeti. So those were our 4 sit-down restaurants that we ate at, and we ordered just as we would off the dining plan. We didn't order the cheapest thing off the menu. We ordered what we wanted to eat, and we got appetizers, and we all got drinks, and we all got desserts. We had snacks. We ordered pizza for dinner twice off the boardwalk. We had a pizza, 2 pizza pies. We brought them back to our room. We did snacks. We did drinks and cookies. We did, you know, we ate exactly as you would off the dining plan. We bought bottles of water, soda, all that kind of stuff. So like I said, the bill would have cost us $727.50 had we done the dining plan. And that does not include tips. And that also doesn't include anything that you might buy in cash. Like on the boardwalk, we got a couple funnel cakes. I know, don't judge. But the funnel cakes that you could only pay cash. So that was like $16 or $17 there. You know, incidentals that you pay cash for, that we would have paid cash for anyway off the dining plan. So I'm not counting those things. And tips, like I said, our dining plan that we created included tips. So our total includes all the tips. The dining plan, tips would have been on top of that. So our bill, our food bill for the entire trip for the 5 days, 4 people, and like I said, we ate exactly like you guys would eat on the dining plan. It came to $525.48. Thunk, jaw on the floor. I couldn't believe it. I sat down, I did the math like 3 times. That's a savings. That's a difference in price of over $200. Okay, let me let that marinate with you guys for a second. The dining plan would have been $200 plus more had we gone with the dining plan. And we didn't, like I said, we didn't restrict ourselves. We did not restrict our dining. Yes, occasionally I brought snacks into the park, but we didn't behave any differently this trip with our food than we would have, especially with my boys. They're horses. They just don't stop eating. My husband actually said to them at one point, can you guys ever skip a meal? Can you ever go without lunch? Can you ever go without breakfast? The answer is no, they cannot. They have to have their breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. So, yeah, I was really, really, really surprised, and I'm honestly not sure that I will ever go back to doing the dining plan again. After this, and I'm obviously going to continually track it, and this is going to be something that I keep an eye on, and I'm curious about now every trip to see if it does balance out. But like our bill at Cuisina was over $100. Our bill at Yak and Yeti was over $100. So it's not like we certainly didn't restrict our eating at all. Like I said, we all did appetizers, which you don't get on the dining plan. There is no appetizers available to you. You can order them, but they're extra on the dining plan. So we got appetizers, we got a main course, I had sides, we had desserts, we all had drinks. I'm really, really, really shocked. So take that for what it's worth. Let that marinate for your family. It might be a good idea to go over to allears.net, check out her menus, and kind of price it out for yourself. See what you think you might order, see how much you think it might cost for you guys. And then really, really decide if the dining plan makes sense to you. The dining plan is, so you know, I don't know the difference between peak and off-peak. I don't know what the dates are, but for off-peak, it's $55.59 per day per adult and $17.16 per day per child age 3 to 9. For stays during peak season, it's $56.94 per day for an adult, or $18.60 per day for a child 3 to 9. And the other thing that we have to think about too is that next January, which I know is kind of far away, but not really that far away, my oldest son is turning 10, which means that he's going to have to pay a full price adult meal. So we will have 3 adults that would have to be on the dining plan versus, you know, ordering a la carte as we did this trip. I just kind of, yeah, I would definitely now advise you guys to do your math and do your homework, and I'm really, really glad that we did it like this because I would never have known otherwise. I thought that the dining plan cost sounded really high, and we just decided to kind of do this as an experiment. So I was pretty shocked. So take that for what it's worth. Do your homework, and obviously results may vary. Obviously your dining experiences, your dining costs are not going to be the same as ours. But you know, I just thought that that was really super, super interesting that we saved over $200 by not doing the dining plan. So take that for what it's worth. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, whatever. What was the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about? Oh, I know. I put up a really, really quick video of me walking through the Magic Kingdom talking to you about crowds. And I thought that particular day, which was 2 days ago, that the Magic Kingdom was really crowded. It looked swamped to me. Now I know from experience that when you're walking down Main Street, when you're at the entrance, when you're at the baggage check, when you're at the turnstiles, it's the most crowded, especially in the morning. And I know that people fan out to the parks and they get absorbed by rides and shows and restaurants, and the crowds dissipate, and they're certainly never quite as overwhelming as they appear to be on Main Street or when you're first coming into the park. But it still seemed to me yesterday that there was a lot of people. So I was talking to a cast member, and he said, no, he said, it's pretty dead now. He said, this is a pretty quiet season for us. He said, we had 2 days over spring break that were at capacity. He said, but we're used to doing like 3 or 4 months in a row that are at capacity. He said, so maybe it'll pick up in the summer, but he said, it's not crowded now at all. So I don't know what crowded to him is. It looked pretty crowded to me, but we still had a good time. I mean, you can still certainly ride all the rides and whatever, but my point was, don't judge. And that goes for all 4 parks. Don't judge the crowds in the park or the crowdedness of the park by what you see at the entrance to the park. It usually doesn't reflect anything. Of course, that's, you know, with an asterisk on it, because obviously there are going to be times and days that it will be far more crowded, and the crowds will actually be truthful for what is going on in the parks. But for the most part, in the morning, Main Street's going to be a zoo. That's why I tell you guys, if you're going to do breakfast in the parks, do an early reservation so you can walk down Main Street, you can walk through Animal Kingdom, or you can walk, you know, through Epcot without having to deal with crowds. It's kind of a nice thing to do in the morning. What else was I going to tell you guys? Oh, I got sunburned this trip. Stupid me. So don't forget to wear your sunblock. Make sure you put sunblock on your face. It's getting really hot down there now, so sunblock on your face, sunblock all over your body. Don't forget to reapply. Oh, I know. I had an experience in Epcot. See, I'm trying to remember as I go along with you guys, and I had a whole bunch of stuff written down, and I can't find my list. So I had a really interesting experience with a guy in Epcot. And I suppose looking back now, it really wasn't that big a deal, but it was just so weird. I was in the caramel shop in the German pavilion at Epcot, and you can enter 2 ways from the shop, and I was unaware that the line, we walked in the side entrance closest to the display cases, and I thought we jumped on the end of the line, honestly, because I'm not a line cutter. I'm not, you know. So we jumped on the end of the line, and I felt somebody looking at me. So I looked over, and there was a gentleman who was staring at me. And I thought, okay, whatever. He just thinks I'm fabulous. That's whatever. And as we rounded the corner, I took a step forward, and he body checked me. Literally, he came out of nowhere and slammed himself into me. And I could not find my voice for a full second or two. I was like, my brain was going, did that just happen? Did this guy just actually bump into me hard? What is going on? And he jumped ahead of me. And I said, excuse me, I'm sorry, I thought I was ahead of you. Well, you weren't. Okay. I said, okay, I'm sorry, I thought that I was ahead of you. I didn't mean to cut you, but you didn't have to hit me. There was no, you could have just said, excuse me worked really well. And he said nothing. He kept his back to me the whole time. So I had 2 choices at that point. I could have kept it going. I could have kept barking at him and been a real bitch and just kind of, you know, made him feel very small and insecure and cut him down to size. Or I could just let it go and brush it off to whatever-ish. And that's what I chose to do. Because I'm in Disney World and because I don't want to be the crazy guest that gets kicked out of the park for barking at another guest. And I certainly don't want my husband to get involved because he will get us all kicked out of the park. So the point here is you might encounter people like that. It does happen. Obviously, it happened to me. And don't let it ruin your fun. Don't let it ruin your day. Try to laugh it off. And know that people come from, like I've said to you, pack your patience, pack your kindness, pack your sense of humor. That's my trinity. That's my holy trinity. And just, you know, try to laugh it off. Try to make it funny. Try to, I don't know. Don't let it get to you is what I'm saying. It's not the first time I've encountered somebody rude in the parks. It's not going to be the last time I encounter somebody rude in the parks. I just kind of needed to weigh my options and decide whether it was worth pursuing or if it was worth letting go, and I let it go. And that was it. And I advise you guys to always do the same. Don't start an argument in Disney World. Don't get yourself in trouble in Disney World. It's not worth it. Don't let it ruin your vacation. And I'm not saying that every trip you're going to run into somebody like that, but you probably will. Odds are you're going to butt heads or rub up against somebody or run across somebody that you find completely obnoxious. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. Patience, kindness, sense of humor. Keep them with you at all times and you will be just fine. What else? I think that's it for now. If I come up with something else, I will vlog about it later. But those are the important ones that I wanted to get out there to you guys. So that is it. Be kind to your cast members. They are muy importante to your trip. Remember, I say that to you guys all the time. And that is all. Peace out, my peeps.